Hello, 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 everyone. Boy, this is a different kind of Monday for me. Different kind of Monday, but I'm still honored and I'm always excited to be here. So just to let you know, always an honor and a privilege. I have been I'm actually in a hotel room having internet issues. So if the internet cuts out, that would be why. So just know I am having connection issues with the internet. I'm not sure how long the broadcast is going to last today, but I'm going to do what I can do. So I want to thank you, all of the live viewers that are watching. Thank you, the replay viewers that are watching. Thank you to each and every one of you that's watching, because I do appreciate each and every one of you more than you will ever know. So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming online. I know too, I want to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors for today's show is Front Page Publishing. Many of you know Front Page Publishing. There is right now, okay, okay, I think some messages are coming in. But Front Page Publishing is having an anthology. If those of you that are interested, you poetry, a short story, you can. We are taking submissions. You can go to frontpagepublishing.com and find out all the qualifications to submit. And your poetry and short story can be in a book. The goal is the book will be out by December. Think about that, by Christmas, or if not, well, definitely by Christmas for sure. I don't think it's going to get before that, but definitely by Christmas, the book will be out. So those of you that are writers, and some of you may say, well, I'm not really a writer. I'm not really a writer. I didn't know I was a writer for years. For years, I didn't know. Think about this. I was writing on the back of utility bills. I have poems. I have stories. You name it, on the back of utility bills, and didn't know I was writing. I never connected that was the writing. I didn't understand it was getting that creativity out. And now I do, as many of you know, and I write a lot of children's books, but I write other books too. I've been blessed, just finished my very first movie script. So I'm really, really excited about that. Just a lot of things going on that I just thank God for. I truly thank God for just the opportunities that have presented themselves. So just so you know, if you're interested in that, I'll talk more and more about that as time goes on. That was the first, and as they say, the first one was the hardest one to complete. Now it's off to the races. It's off to the races after that one. So those of you, if you have a short story or poetry and you would like to see it published, you can go to Front Page Publishing, as I said, and you can read what are the submission requirements. There are requirements to submit, and go there, and we'll see what we can do. That's for sure. But we publish memoirs, we publish fiction, nonfiction, you name it. Children's books. We do a lot of children's books. As I always say, my oldest author is 89, and that's Dr. Henry. My youngest author with Front Page Publishing is 9. So if you fall between 9 and 89, you qualify. That's that's all I always say. Then you don't have to worry about it. You qualify. So that is writing children. That's writing at all, any type of writing, and that's Front Page Publishing. Also, another one of the sponsors for today's show is the Idea Club. The president is Dumas Martin Jr. He's the president of Idea Club. He is the one with, if you're interested in a 501c3, if you're interested in an S corp or C corp, if you're interested, I mean, not 501c3 is for nonprofits, by the way. Then Dumas Martin Jr. is the gentleman you want to speak to. And you can go to theideaclub.com and just send a message to Dumas. He'll be able to help you. So you definitely want to do that. Another sponsor for today's show is Welch Travel Tours. Welch Travel Tours. That's my husband's business. Many of you know my husband is the executive producer for the show. His name is Oliver Welch, and Welch Travel Tours is his business. So you go to Welch Travel Tours to book your airfare, hotel, car rental, anything like that. If you're looking to book a group contact, go to Wells Travel Tours and can help you with that also if you're looking to do a group travel. Then we have a new sponsor. I didn't put, I don't know if I did put that in there, and that was we have a legal that's sponsoring the show. I'm gonna have to add that in there, but they are definitely a sponsor too. Let me say this about today's show. This is a different show, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the same um, Mary Deep talk show. This is different. Our topic for today is a very political, highly motivated political. I don't even think Facebook loaded it. I don't know if you guys are coming from YouTube or Facebook. When I looked at Facebook a little while ago, it hadn't even put the picture up. So I'm not sure if Facebook accepted it. It could just be YouTube that I'm broadcasting on today. But I want to really this is a I'll be honest, I've been trying to watch this kind of closely to see just where this is all going. The topic that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to bring it up, and this is Brittney Griner, who many of you know is and has been found guilty, is overseas in a Russian jail as we speak. And so I'm going to I'll read an introduction about this young lady to you. Her name is Brittney Yevette Griner. She was born on October 18th of 1990. She's an American professional basketball player for the Phoenix Mercury of the Women's National Basketball Association, or uh, called WNBA. She is currently imprisoned in Russia. She played for the Baylor Lady Bears in Waco, Texas. She is the only NCAA basketball player to both score 2,000 points and block 500 shots in 20 in five in but I'm sorry, and block 500 shots. In 2012, the three-time All-American was named the AP Player of the Year and the AP Player of the Year. I should stop right there. Let me give you some other information about Brittney. Her career awards: she was the 2014 WNBA champion, Phoenix Mercury member of the team's U.S. 2016 gold medal team during the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. Two-time gold medalist with Team USA and the FIBA Women's Basketball World Championships. In 2018, through 2014, she was named the MVP of the gold medal games. In 2018, named All-Star 5. In 2014, all-time WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. In 2015 and 2014, she became the first player in the Mercury franchise history to win the award in 2014, and the first player to win the back-to-back and to win back-to-back years since. Now, this is different because normally I'm interviewing that person. Normally, that person would be here, and that's not the case today. What I really wanted to do was find out how many of you feel about what's going on with her being imprisoned in Russia, and to tell you some of my feelings about it, to share with you I thought about this situation. I know some people have said, "Oh, well, she should have known that she had this, in the hash it was hashish in her or cannabis oil, and that's why she's being detained." I would say this. This is what I would say about it. I'm not saying she shouldn't have known, should not have known. But how many of us have done things that you think, I can't believe it would lead to a 9-year, 10-year sentence in prison having this? But and as we know, that's another country. She's no longer, when you're on another soil of another country, I can't, and this is evident of that. You are under their laws, unfortunately. And I'm saying unfortunately because I've been in other countries before, and my fear was to that not be able to leave that country. That was a fear of mine, that I would be there and not be able to leave for whatever the reason. And that some of this could be, is it because she is African American female? Is it because she's 6'9"? Is it because she is, as they say, openly LGBTQ? Is LGBTQ plus? Her wife is Sherelle, I believe that's her name. Is that I couldn't tell you. These are some of the quote unquote facts. I don't know enough to know, but I know that she has been sentenced. To my knowledge, the U.S. is working to free her. I say to my knowledge because I don't have any inside information about that, but that's what I have been told and what I've heard in the news and what I've read is that the goal is for her to be able to leave, to leave the country. Now, in the interim of that, there's 30 basketball players going to Europe to play. Some people think that's a bad idea under these circumstances. I have no opinion one way or the other on that. That's their choice. I think they're saying, well, I'm not carrying any hashish and they're not gonna be able to detain me. I don't know. But I do know this time, I think what people are looking at is why are they not supporting her and saying no, we're not gonna go. But what has happened, I feel, in our society is that the driving factor has just been money. Brittney made or makes, not just made, makes here in the United States on the WNBA team, she makes $228,000. She went to Russia because they offered her $1 million. So think about that. She didn't go to Russia for 200. She went to Russia because they're paying $1 million. Now, $1 million, I'm pretty sure is US dollars, is significantly more than 228,000. But if she was making $1 million here, she would have had no need to go to Russia. That's what I thought about too. It's like she went there for primarily for the money. That was why she went. So if we, as a WNBA, I say we, meaning the United States WNBA, had compensated her at a level that she would not have had a need to go, then this would not be existing. Because she's been there since February 17th. That's how long she's been there. That's significant. We're in September. This is September. So, and not long, I have no idea what is going on behind the scenes. I would hope that they release her soon. I know what I've been reading, that the goal is to do a prisoner swap for one of ours, or I think it's for two of ours, two Americans. It's another gentleman that's American over there too, and then there's a gentleman that we are holding here, and to exchange a prisoner exchange for one Russian for two Americans, or I don't know how many. I don't know the number, but that's the goal, is so she can get her freedom, have her freedom, be back with her family, people that love her. I know I was reading the article. I've been really, really studying this and just going through what she's gone through as a young woman, and how she grew so tall, so fast, and that she really, basketball was not something that came to her naturally or immediately. But when she did finally start playing, she learned the game. And it's like anything else, you learn, you get better at it, and she did. And let me also interrupt right now just to say to everyone, I am in a hotel room and my internet is not stable, so it has been giving me problems all morning. So if it cuts off, that's why. It's not you. It's just where I'm located. Just so you know, I just want you to know that, just in case. One thing these are some of the things that I did learn about her. That she had written, and I guess it was her diary or journal. She had written in the journal that she went to bed one night and said, I just want to wake up normal. That touched my heart. She said, I just want to wake up normal. What she's really saying is, I'm abnormal. This is not, I don't like, and then without saying it, she really is saying she doesn't like herself. Think about the pain of that. The pain of saying that I don't like myself. As if any of us have any control. None of us have control over, even with our genetics. We don't have any control over how tall we're going to be or short we're going to be. How many times have there been small people and they have big children? Their children are normal, quote unquote, normal size or whatever. So they don't have any control over that. We don't have any control. If we be honest, very, as far as we're concerned, we have some control, but we don't have control over everything. We really don't. So just know that I just wanted to just kind of go over some of the things about her. Um, there were 2 cartridges of cannabis oil. Now, I don't know how big a cartridge is. I have no idea. So some of you would know what that means. That was in her suitcase. She has been found guilty. She did plead guilty in Russian court. These are some facts. Some things about her as she grew up. She grew up in Houston, Texas. As a freshman in high school, think about this. As a freshman in high school, she was 5'10". I'm 5'7". So just hearing that she was 5'10" in high school, I can't even imagine that. But she grew another foot. I definitely cannot imagine that. She became either 6'9" or 6'10". When she's gone to, let's say you go into a public restroom, people have stopped her and said, you're in the wrong restroom. You should be, next door or something like that. Mistaking her for a male because of her height. And think about this is basically her life. She's had to learn to laugh this off. She's had to learn to, as they say, get a tough skin, because if you really think about it, she really didn't have a choice. It's either, like I think it was her sister that said that people are concerned that she's going to have, I guess you could say PTSD or have problems from this experience. And her sister said, my sister is strong and she's going to survive this. And I'm hoping she does. I truly, truly am hoping that she does. One thing that happened to her also growing up, when she decided to come out that she was gay, her father, she had to move out the house. He was so upset that she had to move out. Now, since then, they have reconciled and they're very, very close. But I'm sure that experience has affected her also. I mean, how can it not? The one thing, some of the things I've been reading too, saying that she believes in peace. No matter what, she believes that peace is the answer. And I'm thinking, wow, with all that you've been through and going through, and you still say that peace is something that you aspire to. I just think that's wonderful to even think like that. Now, some of you may be saying, why am I doing this story today? Why is this important and what difference does it make? I will tell you this. These are some of the things I've learned in life. There's many things I may not be able to do due to maybe my age, could even be my race, it could be my sex. But guess what I have learned? What is it that I can do instead of focusing on what I can't do? When I made that switch, it changed my life. So now I focus on what I can do. What I can do, I may never meet this young lady ever, but what I can do is that anyone that's watching this particular broadcast, give you the information on how you can support getting her home. I'm going to give you the information on how you can call the White House. I've done all the homework for you. I did the heavy lifting. So all you have to do is make the call. I'm going to give you the information how you can send an email to the White House. And I'm going to give you information how you can write a letter to the White House. Now, any of those three ways will do. But you're calling, writing, emailing in support of the president and whatever he can do, whatever his role is in this. And I say that because in these kind of situations, he's not the one leading the charge. Behind the scenes, there are people that are working for her release. But you're letting them know you are one of the people, that you're a U.S. citizen and you want to see her released. And that gives them even more determination to work for that. I know a few years ago, I called, I don't even remember what it was about now, but I had called a representative because it was a bill pending. And I remember when I called, the one thing that affected me was I asked the representative, that wasn't, the representative didn't answer, it was their staff that answered. And I said, does it matter that I called and said this? And he said, you'd be amazed how much it matters. Don't ever think that it doesn't matter. He said, we know if you're a voter, we know we know your party affiliation, we know all this about you. So don't ever think that we don't know. We know. So when you're calling, don't think, oh, they don't care if I call. They don't. Sometimes I think we misinterpret, or we just think, oh, I'm just one vote. But the truth is, you're not just one vote. Even to make a call and say we're in support of the United States bringing this young lady home, you may think that call doesn't mean anything, but that could have been the 2 millionth call, for all you know. That you put your hat in the ring and said, I support bringing this young lady home. But we never know that side of it. At least I don't know that side of it. But I have learned that's not the side I have to concern myself with. My concern is just to put my name on that list that says, I really would like to be on the side of having her, whatever the United States is doing, which I don't know what that is, but whatever they're doing to bring her home, to bring her home. In addition to all the accolades, and there are so many, literally, I looked at the page, I could not believe all the different accolades she has. But the point, even when I saw that, the one thing that stood out was she still gives back. She still works for nonprofits to contribute. Even you think about, I always look at it like this when people give to nonprofits. That's not something she has to do. Nobody's making her do that. She's not forced to do it. But that tells you, in my opinion, that tells you the heart of a person. When they give back unconditionally, looking for nothing in return, they just want to give. They want to share with the community. And she does. She really does. So, and her community, the one she shares with is the Phoenix Rescue Mission. The Phoenix Rescue Mission is the one she gives to. And she even gives, for corporations, she'll make sure that they donate tennis shoes. So think about that. I mean, when as I said before, I really, really, really looked into this marvelous young lady. Now, some of you may say, well, she's gay, so I don't want to support that. I look at that. That's not my call. That's not for me to determine anyone's preference. That's not for me to say, oh, well, I don't want to support her because she's gay. I don't want to do this because of that. You can always find a reason not to support. Anybody can. There's always all kinds of reasons not to do it. But what about the reasons there are to do it? What about those reasons? I'm going to go in and put up, as I said before, this is the If you're going online, you can go online and whitehouse.gov/contact/, and you can send an email that you are in support of this young lady, of bringing her home. I'm going to leave that up for a second so you can copy down that, um, how to get to the website, whitehouse.gov/contact. And I'm sorry, / and then contact and then /. If you're in, that's an email. The other, if you like to call, here's the number to the White House. So I made it. I did as I said, I did the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do is copy it. I didn't want to. I wanted to intentionally make this easy. If it's your desire, make it easy for you to do it. Not make it something hard. So take the time, if you so desire, and let them know that you are behind her release in the way that there were. And I'm sure I'm speaking not with any knowledge, but knowing how negotiations are, it's usually a team that's behind the scenes that you never see or even know about. And that's who's working for her release. In addition to that, for those of you that what do they say, snail mail? I'm still a snail mail person. I still write snail mail, even to this day. You can write. And I probably should, maybe I should just put President Joe Biden, but I put Mr. Joe Biden President. And you can write and let the president know. Now, the chances are the president's not going to read that, but that's okay. I've written letters to the president. I surely have. I've learned, what does it hurt? Now, I don't know. I'm one amongst thousands of letters. I have friends that receive letters back. I don't know if the president signed it. I don't know who signed it. But the point is, it doesn't hurt to let your voice be known. It really doesn't. I've written so many letters for so many situations, and I've learned it does not hurt. So just know, take the time if you feel that you're led to support this young lady in their efforts. They need to hear from you, because what can happen very easily if they don't think people care, just like anything else. Let me use an example. You know how a team is in a baseball, let's say a baseball game, any kind of game, and then all of a sudden the crowd is behind them. Very rarely will that team lose, because that energy, that synergy is going with them. And that's what this situation, I think, needs right now, is that energy and synergy. I'm not saying it's not already going on, but it can't hurt. It definitely can't hurt to either write, call, snail mail, email, however you want to do it, if you are led to support. It cannot hurt. And some of you may have already done it. You may have already sent that email or sent that text. Well, I'll say not text, but sent the email or the letter or called. I don't know. But if you haven't, I'm going to put them up again. That's the snail mail that's up there. Good old-fashioned snail mail still works. I don't think we'll ever not have snail mail. I don't think so. But here's the White House. If you want to send an email, that's the easiest way for many of us to send an email. Or if you really want to send and you want to call, here's the number to the White House. You can call. Now, you're not going to get the president. Let me tell you now. In case you're wondering. No, but there are people, or there's an answer machine. They do want to hear from you. They do want your opinion. And it does matter. I think it doesn't matter, because it does. I know, and I want to make sure I can get that in before I go on, but I do want to talk to you too as we go on. We're going to be voting pretty soon. If you're not registered to vote, please take that time and register. You can register online now. So you don't have to go in to register. You can go online and become a registered voter. So I didn't bring that. I will have it for you next week, that link, but just Google it and find out, the link to register to vote in your particular county. You can find that out very, very simply. You can go to your register of voters, and that will also give you the information if you're interested to register, or someone who would like to register to vote. You can actually register at 16. It's called pre-register. So if you have a high school student, they can pre-register at 16. So when they turn 18, they're automatically eligible to vote. I know people don't always know that. So I want to make sure I shared that with you. I also want to share the fact if you have been convicted of a felony and you are no longer under parole, you're not on parole, you're not on probation, no one is actually checking in on you, checking up on you, none of those things, then you can vote. In the state of California, let me say, I know in California you can't. I know in some states you can't, but in California you can. As long as you're not under parole, you're not under probation, you're not in jail, you're not incarcerated, you can vote. I know. I'm gonna tell this story because it's a true one. Let me say that. Why would I lie anyway? But anyway, it's a true story. A few years ago, I was registering voters. I was doing voter registration, and I went to a home, and the gentleman, I went to the was go at the door, and the gentleman said, "I'm not interested." He didn't even know what I was even talking about. He goes, "I'm not interested in whatever you're doing." I said, "Okay." You never push yourself on anyone. I don't anyway. So I turned and walked away. And as I was walking away and walking out of the yard, a gentleman drove up, and he got in, and so I was waiting for him to get out of his truck. And I said, "Sir, we're doing." I said, voter. I think I said voter registration. And he shook his head. He didn't say anything. And I looked at him, and I leaned toward him. I said, "Do you have a felony?" And he shook his head, "Yes." Remember, he hasn't said anything. Then I said, "Are you on parole?" He said, "No." He shook. We have not spoken a word this whole time. He hasn't. And then I said, "Are you on probation?" And we're still like whispering. We're the only two standing there. And he said, "No." The whole thing is going to make me just tear up again. I said, "You can vote." I am not kidding you, ladies and gentlemen. The man literally started crying. His eyes welled up. He said he couldn't even believe it. He said, "I'm a felon. I'm a felon." I said, "I know." I said, "Do you?" And I said, I think we went through it about 3 times because he could not believe it. And he said then, now, and he spoke English and Spanish, but he said to me then, he said, "I study everything." He goes, "I study everything. And I thought I couldn't vote." I said, "You can vote." I'll never forget that day. It was like giving this somebody a new lease on life. He can now do the one thing he thought he could never do again. And nobody had told him. Nobody he didn't even know. So all of this time, and believe it or not, he had been eligible to vote for 15 years, never knew it. He said everybody else in the house, none of all of them could vote and didn't vote, just like the gentleman that told me. That was the house that they said no, he said he wasn't interested. And he said, and they don't vote. He was so full of, they can vote, they can do the one thing I can't do, and they don't even take advantage of it. And I was like, wow. I said, "You can vote." And he filled everything out, and he became a registered voter that afternoon. Of all the people I registered, and I've registered a lot of people, that one story affected my life, of the power of being able to vote, of the power of the vote, how he honored it, and how he so appreciated the opportunity. And I sat there, I was just, and I vote all the time, by the way. I vote on if there's an election, you can bet I'm there voting. Because people died so I could vote. They gave their life so I could vote. to me, the least I can do is vote. That's how important it was that they would die, and I won't even, and I would not, no. I know. I vote on every election. When people are running for office, they always come by our home for me and my husband. And I told them, I said, I know why. Because they can tell we vote. They know who we are. We are voters. So they make sure they stop by, they talk, they do all. I said, they know if nobody else votes, Oliver and Mary will be voting. So let's stop by there and pay our respects to these voters. That's really what it is. In fact, Oliver's even worked in the polls. He's even done that. Now, I haven't done that part yet. I haven't worked in the polls, but I will be there. And we even vote early now. We don't even wait. We used to wait. We don't even wait early. We vote early. That's how we make sure we spend that time and vote. I don't have to tell any of you how important it is right now. Our country, we're going through. I used to think we went through a lot a few years ago. Now, I think we are just, our country is transitioning. Now, I'm hoping it's a good transition. That's my hope and my prayer. It's a good transition. But I can tell you right now, we're definitely transitioning. Our society is in a transition. But your vote counts and your vote matters. Not only does yours, you have to get your friends and family out to vote. That's your responsibility. I know you may say, well, that's not my responsibility. Okay, then whose responsibility is it? Whose responsibility is it? If it's not yours, we may say it's not our responsibility. We don't want it to be our responsibility. But the truth is, it is our responsibility. Do you call your neighbors and your friends and your family and your coworkers and make sure that they vote? And you may say, well, I can't make them vote. But you know what you can do? You can encourage them to do it. We all know you can't make anybody do anything, but you can encourage them. You can say, you know what? You let them know that you're voting. Now, you don't have to, go into details, but I'm saying letting them know that your voting is huge and that you plan to vote at the next election. Let them know that you study what is that's going to be on the ballot. If you just those conversations, because then what happens? Guess what they're going to do? Oh, so and so they're voting, and they know what's on the ballot. I better go in and study. I better look and see what's going on in my area. We don't even realize how much we influence other people. I don't think we do. I already know we don't. We don't realize our influence because our influence is so great. The things you say, even if it's sometimes flippant things, and you may not even mean them to land, whatever, but a lot of times they do. Our voices resonate. Remember, I think you guys heard me say this one time. I said it's a vibration. We all have a vibration in this world. And the things you say, people take it and they run with it. They tell people you said it. They say, and sometimes you're talking in jest. You're not even talking about anything that you think somebody's going to repeat, but people do repeat it. So it's so important that you think about the things you say. And one thing I would tell everyone, I don't know how else to say, it's the one thing I think people sometimes fail to do, and that is be kind. When you're talking, be kind. On whatever you're saying, be kind. Be kind. Think about how you want someone to speak to you. And I know that's not always easy. It's not always easy, but kindness, I'll say kindness is the way. Kindness. How do you want someone to speak to you? Do you want? I know we were driving just yesterday, and the light changed, and the light barely changed, by the way, and somebody was on the horn, And I remember thinking, in fact, I was telling Albert, I said, could they let the light change first before they hit the horn? It was like, could they give the person a moment to put the accelerator? Now, I'm pretty sure the person behind him was probably late for work, something. But I remember thinking, even in that split second, I said, give them what you want someone to give you. Kindness. Kindness. That moment, that second, that tone. How many times has someone said something to you and you were like, they could have said that a little differently, and you would have received it differently by the tone of their voice? Kindness. It works. So you might just, these are some of my epiphanies that I'm sharing with you guys, because life is a learning experience every single day. Every single day. I mean, when I say every single day, I mean every single day. There is not a day. I don't think a day goes by. I try to learn one thing. I just one new thing, which means at the end of the year, I've learned 365 or 366. And I'm not trying to learn, more than one a day. Think about that. Just one. Just one. that's all I can handle. It's one a day. That's all I can learn, one new thing a day. I feel accomplished for that day when I learn that one new thing a day. It feels good when that happens. So I'm sharing some of the things I do. Um, Many of you, before I hit the go live button before the show, the part you guys don't see is my prayers. Before the show, I always pray because I want to say something that someone will receive and be something good, for that person, and that person hopefully will share it with someone else, and we don't know where or whose ears it will land on, and be a positive. There'll be something positive in their lives. I don't want to say something that's going to offend, and I can say something and offend, not even know I did it. And that is another thing. Is as you remember, I'm broadcasting live, so I'm very much aware. Only way I can get rid of it is to take the the video down. I have never deleted a video, not one. So if I've made the video, it's up there. Even there's some bad ones up there, by the way. But you know what? I leave them up to show. Nobody gets it perfect. I don't get it perfect, even though I try my best. That's what I do, is I try to do my best when I'm online, and I try to bring positivity to you. Many of you have written and emailed, and I don't even think I put the email up today, huh? Well, if you go to Front Page Publishing, you can reach me there and send a message. For those that would like to reach me, you can always go there. Um, Many of you are on the email list, you're on the texting list, and I can't thank you enough for sharing when they go out. Those text messages and emails go out to numbers of people. But just so you know, every time I pray over every single one, every single one. They never go out without prayers. They go with them. That says for me, to you, that I'm wishing the best for you, your family, for your children, your grandchildren, because many of you I may never meet, but you've met me through the show. Some of you know about the children's books. You've seen those, and I say they're not. As you know, I don't just write children's books. I write books for adults. The ones saying no nicely and save your home from probate, those are for adults. So, but the bulk of my books are children. That is true. I do have journals also. I'm a very, very strong proponent of journaling. If you don't already write in a journal, that's something you might want to consider. And if you may say you don't know where to start. I remember showing, I don't have it with me today. It's just, I have a 3-ring binder. That's how I started writing, from Walmart. As I'm giving Walmart, that's a plug for Walmart. but but journaling is a good start. It's a good start. And I would encourage you, start somewhere. Those of you that would like to write, start somewhere. Then don't ever think, some of you, I've heard people say, oh, I'm getting too old for that. I used to think that too. Let me tell you now, I did. I used to think, I said, am I getting too old for these things? But let me tell you what was given to me. Are you breathing? Then the answer is no. If you stop breathing, then that's another story. But if you're breathing, you're not too old. Whether it's writing, whether say you would like to paint, it doesn't matter what it is. That's irrelevant. If you want to do it, as long as you're not hurting other people or infringing on them in any type of way, then do it. As I said before at the beginning, I just finished my very first movie script, of which I am elated. Just to say I'm finished with a movie script, just let's go with that. I'm just amazed. But I took classes. I didn't just jump up one day and decide to. I've been working with mentors to learn how to do this. I wasn't born to learn how to write movie scripts, but I can tell you what I have learned from this experience, that there will be more movie scripts coming. So now that I've learned, but also let me say this to you. Halfway through that script, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit. And I want to share that with you because it was getting painful. Painful. I was writing it and I said, okay, wait a minute. Why don't I just go back to writing children's books? Think about what I was really saying. I was giving up on me. It was hard. It got hard. And I thought, well, this may not be something I need to do. This is getting a little bit too stressful and a little bit too hard for me. And I backed away from it for a little while, came back to it. But then this is what I said to myself. If you don't finish this, who did you really hurt? That'd been me. And I said, no, I got to see this through. I got to finish it. I will be the first to admit it was a struggle for me, because a children's book for me, they're easy for me. And I say that not that to make it an easy thing, but I've written so many now that it's become easier. But I had to talk to myself through the script. And I said, the only way to write more scripts, number one, you got to get through the first one. The only way to get through the first one is to finish this one. So I literally had to talk myself through that script. And then I said, okay, you finished Act 1, then I finished Act 2. Then I said, okay, then I'm like, okay, I have one more act to finish. And I was thinking, well, okay, it's got to be something interesting that happens. Finally, I finished the script. And it's done. As they say, the movie's not in the can, but the script is done. So I feel good about that. But it was still, now I've already started on the second script. So what have I learned from this? Let me tell you one thing I did learn. It's only going to get easier as I do it. It's not going to get, now it cannot get any harder than the first one was. Cannot get any harder than that. So now I'm writing my second script. So I'm just moving on down the road and just going on with number 2. And my goal is to have like 10 done, or more. It would be nice, but it's going to take time. But I realize if I just stay with it. And what happens, just like, remember how I said how easy it is for me to write children's books? I already could see. Those of you familiar, the very first book, There's a Rocket in My Pocket. That book, when I wrote that book, let me see, that's not the first book I wrote, by the way, but that's the first one I published. The 2 first ones I wrote, one is called The Cake Shook. I haven't published that one yet. And the other one is called Nasea the Tooth Fairy. Neither one of those are published. They're coming out. They will be coming in the next year, this coming year. Both of those will be coming out. But what was interesting, the very first one, if you read There's a Rocket in My Pocket and you read the one that just came out, have you seen no, not Red Elephant. Red Elephant was the one before that. Have you seen the Red Elephant? The newest one that's published is Peyton the Pink Whale with the Yellow Tail. There's no comparison in those two books. That's my husband's favorite. I always have to say that. That's Oliver's favorite. Peyton the Pink Whale with the Yellow Tail. That is his favorite. All of them are my favorite. I don't have any favorite. There's no favorite. They're all my favorite. But I say that because in November, there's a new children's book coming out. November, I think it's November 1st. That one's Justin Lost a Tooth. That's coming out November the 1st. Think about it already. But my goal is, this is how I've been writing children's books. This is how I want to learn how to write movie scripts. Same way, same thing, same creativity, kind of, sort of, because the children's books, even though they're shorter, that doesn't mean there's not as much work involved, because there's work involved in those books. So I would encourage you, if you have even if it's a thought, an inkling in your mind, what do I always tell you? Write it down. I'm telling you, this is what I always tell people. We can't edit what's not written. Nope. I cannot edit what's not written. You have to write it before I can edit it. So those of you, and I've heard people say this, oh, Mary, I have 2 and 3 books in my head. And I said, they do not exist in this life. They don't exist because we can't edit that. So you have to take the time, write it down so we can edit it. That's the difference right there. I know, ladies and gentlemen, it's 4, I say 4:51, I'm looking at the clock, but I don't think Facebook came on today. I think it looks like it didn't. I don't know why. I don't know. I have a feeling because it said Brittney's name. I have a feeling that may have blocked Facebook from putting it up. That's me saying that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have a feeling. I don't know. But normally I have a lot of comments from people that are on Facebook, that come through Facebook. I haven't had any today, which is very rare. Let me say that. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a show and I haven't had comments. So that's telling me that they could have, because her name was on there, they could have blocked it. I don't really know. But I do want to thank you. Those of you that came in, I think you came in through YouTube. I think so. But I want to thank each of you that came on and stayed on the show. I never know who the YouTube viewers are. Thank you for subscribing to the show. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for being there. I'm always honored. I'm always honored that you come and spend time. It touches my heart. And that you listen in. We have a new guest coming next Monday. But this was something I just wanted to do. I just wanted to give this young lady some time. And nobody asked me to. I mean, she doesn't know me. I wouldn't. She has no way of knowing I even did this. But I just wanted, for my sake, to let the public, I guess, know, let the audience know that if you feel the same way, as I said before, and you would like to support this young lady as we get ready to close the show, I wanted to give you that opportunity. This is where you would write. I'll leave that up for us momentarily because we're down. We only have a few minutes, but that's where you would write. Or you could write President Biden. That's another thing you could do instead of Mr. Joe Biden, President. You can write President Biden, and you can put down your feelings about how you feel about releasing her. It matters, ladies and gentlemen. It does matter. Believe me, it does when you express that. Let me give you a moment if anybody needs that. And then I'm going to give you the email. There you go. You can send the email to that address. You can send an email. So and as we get ready to close, remember, be kind. Be kind to people. We need kindness. All of us do. There's a comment that popped in. Let's see. Oh, That's my husband. I tell you, Albert said, "Great show. This is support." Now you know that your husband says, "Great show." Thank you, babe. So, um, but I would tell you, ladies, gentlemen, keep in mind, be kind. I like that. Keep in mind, be kind. I'm going to write that one down. Keep in mind, because we forget that sometimes. And I say that because we don't know who needs it. We all need it, by the way. There is no who needs it. Everybody needs kindness. Everybody needs that time, that moment, that you know, take that just to that minute and just be kind to people. That's all. That's all it is. Just be kind. So let me see, what am I missing? I did the I'll go one more time with the number. There we go. So that's too funny, does it? Because I was right here in the hotel room with me. I looked around. I said, "Okay." So, but just know I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you. Thank you again for coming. We will be back next Monday. We'll be live right here at the Mary D Talk Show, and we'd love to see you. If you have any suggestions, you can, if you go to Front Page Publishing, I'll put it up for you. There's a contact form on Front Page Publishing. You can contact me there. Um, any suggestions or anything you have, I'd be definitely glad. I am going to do a remote. I'm going to go out on remote. Oh, ah, okay. Joy just sent a message in. Hi, Joy. Nice seeing you, Joy. So, ladies, gentlemen, I'm gonna do one more. Don't forget, if you and also let me also remind you about the anthology project. If you write poetry, you write short stories, and you like to be a part of the anthology project, there's a submission, but you need to go to Front Page Publishing and go through and find out what the submission qualifications are. Love to have you. Um, it is getting, not I say pretty full, but there's still, we do have a few slots available. So if you have poetry, short stories, and you like to, this is still the opportunity right now. You have to look online and see what the cost is, because I don't remember off the. I don't want to quote anything that's not accurate, but you can still submit right now, and we're still taking submissions. So, and we also have here, there. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted, like as I said earlier, what I say, keep in mind, be kind. Keep in mind, be kind. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna put it on the bottom of my emails and probably put it on the page. Those of you, if you're not already receiving emails from me, you can go to marydwelch.com and sign up to be on the email list, marydwelch.com. You can join the email there and you will get emails. If you are the text messaging, that's totally different. You can call, there's a number here, and leave your name and you'll get, there we go. If you're interested in tech, you can call the office, 619-669-8603, and then leave your name and your number, and you'll be added to the texting list. And you'll get text messages. So the text messages go out, the emails go out. We're always communicating. I'm the communicator, that's for sure. So you're welcome to get on either of those lists, and you're welcome to share any of this with your friends and family. That's them, friends, family, coworkers. That is the number one way I would think that everything gets out, is people share it. So just know, sharing it does matter. What do they say? Sharing is caring. It does matter when you share. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our show for today. Thank you again. I love each and every one of you. I will see you on next Monday. God bless you. Bye-bye, everybody.